Let's get the final match of Group B underway.
All right, guys, the last match from Group B is about to start. We have Ret going up against Yoda. Is Yoda going to be the really strong Terran that Ret was looking for in his previous interview?
I think Yoda's ready.
I think I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah, he's ready. Nah, Yoda's gonna do amazing.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the best players here.
And just to clarify, by the way, I need to look at the numbers just so I don't get too confused. Ret's currently 4-0 and Yoda is 3-1. So if Yoda wins, they'll both be 4-1. But Ret is 8-1 versus Yoda's 7-4.
Is map score the head-to-head tiebreaker?
I'll have to double check on that. But
it could be just whoever won the set.
No, I think it's map score first.
Well, it also depends. This also depends for First as well, because First is currently playing Cass, and he lies in 3rd place in the group. He's definitely going through. But if First wins and Yoda loses, First places 2nd, if that makes sense.
Ret is gonna be first anyway, right? Yeah, he went 4-0.
So.
He's
Yeah.
8-1.
Yeah.
The other guys have 7-4 and 6-5. No way they can.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. If the map score is the tiebreaker, then I think Ret stays first no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all to play for here. It's basically placings within the Group 4 tomorrow. It's going to be our final best of 3. Any specific strategy predictions in this game involving a Terran player, QXC?
Well, considering I played Ret in a tournament about a week ago, I do feel confident in possibly predicting the strategies. Against Mech, I get the feeling that Ret doesn't feel particularly confident in the late game, and I think maybe this is part of where we kind of see him hesitant to declare his victory and kind of fearful of very strong Terran players. Late game, TVZ is very hard, Sky Terran is very strong. When I played him and I went mech, he went for, basically didn't drone his 3rd and went for like 140 supply Roach Hydra mass drop on top of my army. And it's very strong, very hard to defend. The game ended.
Yep.
I said GG and I left.
Okay.
And then he advanced and defeated other players in that tournament. But against Bio, he did play kind of a Muta, Speedling, Baneling into fast Ultralisk. And I think this is a very smart way to play against Bio. Ultralisk right now are just so cost efficient against everything. You just make Ultralisk and you A-move and your opponent loses the game.
That's a nice unit.
Yeah, it's a very nice unit.
I would like to have one of those.
I think you have a couple of them.
I have the Void Ray.
Colossus.
Yeah, Void Ray.
Just Void Ray.
Just the Void Ray.
Yeah, just the Void Ray. I don't know.
So we have different responses potentially coming out of Ret for bio play and mech play, potentially popping out of Yoda. Is there anything in particular that you would expect to see from Yoda? Do you think he might be favoring one over the other, or do you have some sort of feel as to what he's going for?
I don't have a good memory of Yoda's TVZ style, and I can't remember him playing recent Heart of the Swarm matches that I've seen. So
yeah,
it's hard to say whether he will be favoring bio or mech, but I think in general Korean Terrans tend to favor bio and they tend to favor marine tank. I think it's really a question of how much Heart of the Swarm has Yoda really played and how creative is he. And I feel like Yoda's one of those players who's not afraid to innovate and to come up with his own type of thing. I can remember him doing some very weird builds in the GSL in the past.
Oh, we'll see if one of those interesting builds decides to pop up here at the Intel Extreme Masters. Is Ret going to go 5-0 undefeated here in Group B, or will Yoda attempt to blemish that record at the last second? We'll find out in just a moment, guys, as we throw it over to Apollo and Kalaris.
Thanks very much, guys. Yeah, Caster's desk now. I've got myself a new snazzy shirt. The purple one wasn't doing it with my hair. It's all fine.
That's good. It looks good on you. I like the heart.
Thanks, man.
It's almost as big as your real one.
Oh, so kind. Okay, so we have Ret here, who has a lot of heart here. Going 4-0. Ridiculous.
Yeah. There's a massive question. Is Ret now a tournament favorite, having beaten the defending champion MC? So that's a big question for everyone to keep on their mind as we get ready to jump into the game 1 between these two players.
Yep, and don't forget, guys, that actually the winner of this entire tournament has actually been invited to the Heart of the Swarm launch by Blizzard in Versailles, which I believe you shall be part of.
That's right, just next week, immediately after this tournament has finished.
Yep. So, indeed, spawning up to our top right-hand corner here as our blue Zerg. Ladies and gentlemen, he goes by the name of Liquid.Ret. And spawning down to the bottom left-hand corner as our Red Terran. We've only seen a few of them today, but he goes by the name of LG IEM's Yoda.
And Yoda, if you're not too familiar with him, he's been a Terran player that's floated in between Code S and Code A, re-qualifies all the time, and just recently actually in his up and downs in GSL, he just beat Marine King 2-1 and qualified back into Code S for the Heart of the Swarm Code S. But it's all about this tournament. In Katowice, he did play. This is how he's here for this very good time. He managed to get top 8. Unfortunately, losing out to Parting. And if you remember that game, it was absolutely one-sided annihilation from Parting. But Yoda's back here. He's looking pretty good. 3 wins to 1 loss. Definitely looking to move out of this group. But going back to the same question I asked earlier, is Ret now a favorite? Is he going to ace his Group 5-0?
He's looking damn good here. Yoda does pose quite a challenge, though. He, apart from MC, is technically the highest level of opponent here in this group. As it looks like he's going to be going for what seems to be a Reaper opening. At this, you know, he's going to poke around a little bit against Ret, but Ret, he's looking pretty darn good in Heart of the Swarm. Looking at his games, I won't be surprised if he's able to thwart this quite easily.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing Ret play, but I'm more interested to see what Yoda's going to do. And I think there was a big statement over on the analysis desk is how much has he played? You know, he did get his up and downs, you know, out of the way a couple of weeks back, or a week and 2 weeks ago. But now the question is he going to be able to transfer his skills over to over to Heart of the Swarm in such a short period of time?
Yeah.
And I think he can, because there's not that much difference between Wings Liberty and Heart of the Swarm Terran play. It's playing out very similar. The openings are a little bit adjusted. Reaper openings, of course, very strong. Widow Mines with your composition, and a slight adjustment to the overall composition. I think you're almost playing a very similar game. Same timings you're looking to hit, same defensive timings you need to defend against. So if that is true, then I think he's going to be looking pretty good against Reds.
You're right. I think it's in Terrans, they have all the same tools at their disposal, but they're just a little bit better. Things like the medevacs, they're able to drop in the correct spots. Things like just going into mech play in general. The Widow Mine provides that extra stability in positioning that you will try and go for. And all of these things, you're right, they're not too hard to get to grips with here. And he's already doing a little bit with the Reaper.
And yeah, he's looking to get a couple of kills down, trying his best to micro against these Zerglings, of course. Does take quite a few more hits now, since the Reapers don't have the extra damage versus light units, but we do have the Reactor and Factory follow-up here. A couple of options, of course, from Yoda to go into, whether it be Hellions to continue the harassment, or Widow Mines to defend a fast third base, if that's the choice taken, or just going over to Hellion Banshee's a definite possibility as well.
Yeah, can still stick with that very, very viable Ret for now, just trying to dance around with his queens, trying to make sure that these Reapers don't really find any way into this location. We'll do a little bit of damage microing them back, but again, if you've got more than one Reaper, then they can still pack a punch, and there you go, there's that third.
Yeah, a pretty fast third command center here. We'll see if he's going to defend with Widow Mines, or just keep up the pressure and add on a star port as well. So it's up to Yoda here on what he does with that. Good snipe actually onto the Creature Humor, preventing that Creep Spirit, and here do come the Widow Mines. And this is actually something that Korean Terrans have been doing a lot, especially against Zerg and also against Protoss, is defending Greed with well-placed Widow Mines against Roach Sling attacks or anything along those lines. And Yoda, more so than anything, looking to scout here. As you see, just pokes in and goes out again. That was more than anything to check, does he have gases? Am I safe? Do I need more Widow Mines? Do I not? So upon building 2 Widow Mines, he may stop building Widow Mines unless he wants to use them aggressively and start to switch things over now to Hellions, which is what we're seeing coming through. So realizes that Ret eventually has to take a third base, and he's going to use these Widow Mines instead of defensively, aggressively.
Yeah, to just try and zone out anything breaching that third location whilst he takes it out. Very, very nice little moves here by Yoda. He's actually sending one Widow Mine either side here just to try and waddle on in and find a good position, and he will do on that ramp. That's going to be really annoying for Ret to deal with until Leia's out.
On the natural, we had a Widow Mine trying to get into the drone line here, and is he going to borrow in time? It doesn't. Ret pulls his drones, and that could have been actually massive. If that Widow Mine had borrowed in there, there's no detection. The Leia's only just begun, and that could have been a nightmare if he wasn't able to mine from that natural. So good deflection there from Ret.
Very, very good indeed. Looks like he lost an overlord there for a second. Things, but
good detonation with that Widow Mine onto the Queens and Lings there, and that helps pick off a Queen with just 2 Reapers and 2 Hellions. Really good start here from Yoda.
Yeah, this is an aggressive move, and one that's a little bit unconventional here, but I mean, it's working out very, very well there, just with that support. He's going to get the cancellation here, and that is a very, very nice spot for him to be. And even a Spore Crawler moving over there, trying to deny the Widow Mine from being too much of a threat later on.
If he gets that kill or cancellation, as well as a Queen which he's hunting down, this could be massive from Yoda. And the hatchery is very close. He's only got 300 hit points at the moment, but he's going to go for the drone since they're exposed. Why wouldn't you here?
Oh, and all the Zerglings flooding out once again. Speed's just about to finish, but they all die off before it actually finishes up. Oh, look at how much he's actually killed off here. He's only just lost a few units just now here. And that is a fantastic trade here from Yoda. Constant aggression, but constantly keeping Ret on the back foot.
I remember that Widowmine has got a new bomb loaded to go off here, and he's going to start targeting down this hatchery. It's at 250 hit points, and this is going to go down very, very fast here. Ret down to 53 supply. He cannot lose this. The Widowmine goes off, killing 2 Lings, so no longer is the Widowmine there defensively, but is this going to go down? There is not a transfuse available. There will be in a couple of seconds' time. Oh, this is close. 1 second away from a transfuse. He doesn't have enough, and the hatchery falls, and that is a big, big blow here.
And Broodlings eventually come out, fully enough kill the Widow Mine during all of that. Not enough in the end. Spire going down behind this for Ret, as well as Evolution Chambers, trying to spread that creep aggressively, trying to find his way back on in. But Yoda now, I mean, if he wants to, with these 3 command centers, he's in such a great macro lead.
Everything that Yoda has right now is even able to compete against 4 base Zerg. He's about to take his 3rd. This is completely fine. It's more than fine. It's amazing, actually. And with a secondary reactor coming down, very shortly the armory should come down. And what I think we're going to be seeing here, Kalaris, is Marine, mostly Marine, a few more Order Sprinkler, but Hellbats into the mix. Very, very strong against Ling heavy compositions. The Hellbats fry them. It's as simple as that here. And with a secondary reactor coming down, that's what I think it's going to be for. And Iskander's reveal the Spire as well, so things are just going in Yoda's going in his way.
Yeah, really kind of spiraling out of control for Ret as Yoda keeps covering all his bases. Missile turrets going down, preparing for that eventual air transition from his opponent, and he's even adding on the medevacs. So, you know, those afterburners on those medevacs can make things even more troublesome for Ret if he's not careful.
And for now, we are actually seeing Widow Mines initially from the factory. And Widow Mines are in replacement for tanks here and actually offer great defensive setup and likewise aggressive. Imagine as a Zerg, you're playing Ling, Baneling, Muta. The Baneling nest just now coming down. If you swarm in as a group, if there's mines everywhere, everything's going to die, and then the Marines are left alone to just win out over everything. So those are the 2 main options that Terran seem to be leaning towards in Heart of the Swarm, is either Hellbats coming into the composition or Widow Mines. And I think that Yoda is just controlling this game, and to be honest, is leading it very convincingly.
And Widow Mines against Zerglings, it doesn't matter how many Carapace upgrades a Zergling or a Baneling have, it still one-shots a ton around the initial Zergling. So that is very, very strong indeed here for him. A few Hellions do get cleaned up for now. He's looking to, well, just pose a little bit of a threat on the middle of the map is Yoda. Ret's trying to get those upgrades going.
This can actually kill Ret here. It's that strong of an attack. 2 Widow Mines, a lot of Marines, and 4 Medivacs. This is incredibly strong. It really depends on what those Widow Mines detonate on.
Yeah, it's very, very strong indeed. Widow Mines positioning themselves again. He's just spreading out a lot of his units as the Marines try and move back as best they can do. Those Widow Mines connect with just a sprinkle.
Only one of them detonated, though. There is another one, and I'm not sure if Ret knows that. And a massive detonation, and that was what we were talking about. And just Marines left, and Ret is just smashed here.
The Marines going to be able to focus fire down this hatchery very quickly. There you go. GG. Whoa, those Banelings could have made a massive difference, but they got obliterated.
Ret sent in a couple of Lings. I saw a couple of detonations in his mind go off, so he thought that was a clear place to fight, and obviously it wasn't. And what a great detonation. And Yoda, oh boy, he just smashed Ret. As good as Ret's been looking 4-0, that was one-sided.
That was that little poke with the initial. It began with the 1 Reaper and then escalated from there, and it escalated quickly.
That's right, and well, Yoda takes game 1 here. Ret not out of it yet. Remember, this is a best of 3. Yoda currently sitting at 3 wins to 1 loss. Ret 4-0. Both of them looking to advance, but in what position?
Yep, and we'll send it over to the analysis desk, guys, to see what they have to say about game number 1.
All right, guys, so pretty action-packed game one there between Yoda and Ret. We saw, first talking point I actually want to go over is we have, of course, the reasonably fast 3 command centers, but then followed up by that Widow Mine opening coming out of Yoda. And he moved out across the map, and we saw that he split the Widow Mines up, but one of the natural got sniped off, unfortunately. Talk us through that and what was going through Yoda's mind at the time.
Yeah, so the Widow Mine is one of those units that unsupported it's almost useless aggressively, because basically anything can prevent it from moving across the map. But the Reaper opening allows you to pin the Zerg in his base. Becomes very difficult for him to move across the map. If he's not going for fast speed, for a speedling flood, speedling counterattack, or for relatively early roaches, then he has basically no way of moving out with just slow links. And so because the Reapers give you so much information, Yoda's able to see that there's no gas. He doesn't have to worry about a speedling bust where the Widow Mines would be less useful. And he can rally the Widow Mines straight to Ret's base and use them to aggressively contain him. I don't really feel like the Widow Mine at the natural made too much sense, and we did see that it really didn't do anything at all.
Yeah.
But the Widow Mines at the third make it so much harder for Ret to engage that small group of units, that very mobile Reaper-Hellion combination. And that was really what gave Yoda the advantage in this game that led to that devastating attack of the third.
Well, yeah, he came across with Reapers and a lot of Hellions just a short while later. We're actually going to be hopping straight into the replay here to take a quick look at how that attack unfolded on Cloud Kingdom. So QXC, take us through what happened. Of course, this is post-Widow Mine as the Hellions were streaming in.
So we do see the Reaper Hellion here attacking the hatchery, and this is basically what this is best used for, just because the Reapers aren't really doing a huge amount of damage. You're going to have a hard time pushing into Queens, and likewise with the Widow Mines. Widow Mines are not particularly useful when you put them, I don't know. Widow Mines are not particularly useful when you try and burrow them aggressively against your opponent, because usually they can move away, they can sack lings on it, but when they don't know where the Widow Mines are, it becomes very difficult.
Yeah, I feel like at this point though, Red should have cancelled his hatchery. It was so low, and he really had no means. He had slow lings only, speed about to finish, but no roaches, so he couldn't really defend his hatchery, it felt like.
I think if speed had been maybe just a little bit earlier, or if he hadn't lost that big group of lings, like he just ended up losing too much in that attrition, and then was pretty unlucky for Ret, and this is going to be the last thing I want to show in this replay. Just right here we can see the Queen, 48 energy, needs 50 for the transfuse, 50 energy. Literally, the hatchery was left with 2 hit points when the Queen had 50 energy to make that transfuse. If he had transfused, he could have held on, but it was such a close call, such a very, very precise thing. With everything else going on, it would have been very hard to do.
Yeah, but I think the safe thing to do is just to cancel the hatch. Save 225 minerals. It's a bit of a risk to let it finish.
I mean, it's definitely difficult even if he cancels the hatch. Like, yeah, he has less commitment. He's not going to take as much damage, but Terran's on 3 command centers.
Yeah.
So he's still going to have some trouble economically in that regard.
Yeah, and wow. And I guess the Widow Mine destination that we saw there around the 13-minute mark, that was really just icing on the cake by that point. I think most of the damage was done really before then in the bits of the game that we've just analyzed.
That's one of those things that looks spectacular, but it's not really telling you the story of what happened in that game.
And I have confirmation from the admins, by the way, just so we were clear on the tie breaks and stuff like that, or what's going on. If Yoda wins this 2-0, he does advance in first place. He will advance on map score over Ret. He'll have 9-4 as opposed to 8-3. And I believe that puts them through according to what I've just been told from the admins. So Ret needs to take a map off Yoda at the very least to guarantee that he's going to stay in that first place. So guys, I think that's going to be it for the analysis. For now, we're going to be going into a very, very important game number 2 here, which will decide a lot about the standings in this group. Let's throw it over to your commentators, Apollo and Kalaris.
Very important indeed. Ret needs at least 1 win to stay in first place, and that in Intel Extreme Masters is a big deal, because then you skip an entire round
is going to be Ohana.
Interesting one here, as we do have spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner here as our blue Terran. Blue Zerg, currently 1 game down. He goes by the name of Liquid.Ret. And spawning as our actual Terran in the red, he goes by the name of IEM Yoda.
The force is strong with this one, Claris, as he's currently leading, but look at this. 8 supply depot, 8 barracks,
and then
8 refinery. This is a build that a lot of Zerg players have, bluntly put, been annoyed with.
Yes.
This is it's the fastest Reaper build there is out there. Ret is drone scouting around his 3rd up the ramp. No! Down first. Is he going to go back up there after?
He has to.
He's looking for it. It's a small 2-player map. This is a very high possibility.
Oh, and he sees it. He sees the barracks so quickly. Denying that SCV will be fantastic. He's going to keep nibbling, and he's going to get it.
He's going to get it. It's going to be a cancellation on that barracks. Unless he sends down another SCV, but this is bad news here for Yoda. This is really good for Ret, and with the gas being taken here, Ret could very easily punish this, because the follow-up from this, usually, because Ret hasn't scouted, remember, the follow-up is cancel this, build a command center, say, damn it, I'm in trouble. I wouldn't be surprised if Ret built roaches off the bat. Straight roaches, just go 1 base roaches, 1 base Baneling bus, anything along these lines to punish this.
As long as he can get the cancel.
Even if this barrier is complete, roaches still apply here.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm super interested to see this, because I believe that that's what Ret's intention is with gas. It doesn't make sense. I don't think he's going to go for speedlings so early. I think it's going to be straight for roaches. I don't know, though. We'll have to see, but that's my feeling.
That's the feeling. We have the Reaper now on the way, along with the Queen. A few Zerglings sprinkled in there to try and deal with this, at least zone it out so it's not doing catastrophic damage to mineral lines, etc. As the SCV will poke on in, sees the gas, and did not see researching.
Gets back into gas as soon as the SCV leaves here. The SCV goes in, he takes out a gas, and it looks like just a speed opening, but he goes straight back into gas here, and it's going to be some kind of 1-base aggression, whether it be a Bailey Nest or Roach Warren coming down, or I don't know, but Ret's not messing about in this game.
Not at all. The Zerglings now need to stop the Reaper from really being able to pincer on in here. It will be able to push it back for now. One Zergling almost dies off. Queen is out to be able to reinforce as well. He sees them back in gas, so he should have a little bit of an inkling as to what may occur.
But what does it mean? Is Ret going to follow through with this despite it being scouted? There's a factory on the way down here, and Yoda knows what's going on. Ret with an Overlord is going to poke in and see the factory too. Is he going to try it anyway? Is he going to forget about it? He's building a lot of lings here. Of course, that is more so to deal with these Reapers, but what is his intention with the gas? It's all about that, because if we see something aggressive thrown down and it doesn't work, this game can easily fall in favor of Yoda once again, but a lot of lings are being made. Are we going to see a Bailey Nest come down, Claris?
Oh, and we do. It's good right at the back here. So Yoda, Ret for now has to stop those Reapers from being able to do any scouting. In fact, they're just going home anyway for the defense. And this is a lot of lings in production. And you've got to remember that Ret still, he can put on the aggression here.
And a wonderful thing is supply depots, yes, they do wall you off, but yes, they will supply cap. Your Widow Mine is being made. That is what Yoda is trying to do. He's seen the gas. He knows that something is coming. Will he defend this? Because if Ret takes this game right here with this attack, then this will allow him to go through his first place, guaranteed top 8 here at the World Championship Finals here.
And I'm pretty sure he saw a lot more lings actually streaming in with that Reaper there. It was very on the edge of its vision. He actually lowers the supply depot.
Widow Mine. If the Widow Mine goes behind the supply depots, the Bailings will come up first, remember, and the Widow Mine will detonate on the Bailings. Actually, he's going to go down on the other side. This could be massive, unless Ret is smart and sends 1 ling. If he sends 1 or 2 lings, and then the Bailings, he's the smartest player in history.
He's doing it.
He's doing it. The Bailings are going to go in, and they're going to bring this down. That's so smart of Ret to do that.
He's flooding on in. He's just going to bypass the bunker completely here. More lings are flooding across the map as well. The SCVs are completely vulnerable. Not that many units left over. There is 1 Widow Mine on the way, but more Zerglings flood on in.
Widow Mine, another one is down. Remember, that's a lot of lings that just got killed off. And behind this, there's so many SCVs. Is Ret going to be able to do it? The Widow Mine will have to take another good amount of seconds here before it can be used again. Ret is droning behind this. He will expand behind this, but oh my god, this is incredibly close. 2 Reapers not quite surrounded, and it looks like Yoda will hold on, but is falling down in terms of supply.
6 workers have been killed off. He's currently at 14 SCVs to 20 drones. And, well, Yoda is still holding on valiantly. The Widowmine now has another charge of this shot here. The Zerglings, they're just going to... Looks like they're just going to go completely around. Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa!
Oh my god, Yoda! We saw one brilliant move from Ret. We saw one brilliant move from Ret, pulling the Lings up, detonating 2 Lings before Bailings, and that was equally as smart there by Yoda. You have to appreciate what he just did. Pulls the Reapers out, pulls the Lings into the Widowmine, and that was absolutely fantastic. And behind this, the game continues. What an explosive start here to this game, and you can see the importance of this map for both players. Yoda wants to win to go through his first. Ret wants to win to go through his first. This is so important.
Yeah, and look at this. Yoda actually going on the aggression once again with a very, very similar composition to the one he did with at the very start of this series. 2 Reapers on the way with 1 Widowmine looking to zone this out. Actually, if he plants himself here, then this is a very, very annoying position.
And this is a counter problem that Ret's going to have to deal with. He has a Spore Crawler being made to deal with Widowmines that come aggressively. 10 Lings are on the way. The drone didn't actually build that 3rd base unless it was cancelled there. But either way, Ret having to deal with this pressure, and more Widowmines are being made 2 by 2 at this point with the reactor onto the factory. Whew, this game is heating up here.
Really having to move the Spore Crawlers forwards constantly. It can just get an Overseer out to continually defeat the Widowmines, but the Zerglings, oh dear me, you want to be very careful with that.
I'm not sure if Ret knows about that Widowmine. He may do, and if he does, then he's not going to go down there. Roaches are going to be the savior here, but Lings, I think he knows he's not trying to look for the surround there, and a couple of Lings do fall forward, and he detonates 4 for the trade-off there. If he sings 1, 2, or 3, the Hellions will probably one-shot them, so he has to send more, and now he knows and pushes that Widowmine back. Roaches will be Ret's savior once they pop.
Yeah, and then for now, those Roaches will clear of Constitution on the way out. 30 drones to the 27 SCVs. The Overseer now morphing in, as well as that 3rd that still has not been noticed. Yoda thought it wasn't going down. He didn't know the drone was still down there. He just checked for creep or even the hatchery itself, but still positioning Widowmines, still trying to control this ramp.
Yeah, really good play here from both players. Ret's going to move forward with 1 Queen, and that's going to fall down. A bit of a mistake there, to be honest. An Overseer is made, though. He's got to play this very smartly. He doesn't want to lose any hit points. There's 2 Widowmines! 2 Widowmines, a massive detonation, and Ret oversteps his mark. He didn't realize about that, and he loses 5 Roaches for basically nothing there.
Oh god.
And you can see Ret a breath of annoyance here more so than anything.
Those Widowmines doing so good. The Overseer now steps forwards to clean up one of them, but will it be enough now as Yoda continually pushes forwards? He still has another Widowmine there. It looks like he's not comfortable enough with just 1 Widowmine. So falling, oh no, yes, he's going to come back. So apparently continuing this.
Yeah, this is really difficult here from Ret. Behind this, remember, +1 is on the way. Stim is almost done. Medivacs is soon entering in. This is minimal amounts of money investing into this pressure that Yoda's making compared to the amount of defense that Ret is having to spend on here. So many Roaches, so many Lings. He is about to have Roach speed, though. The question is behind this, if Ret does break out, does Yoda have what it takes to defend back at home?
That's a good question here. A few units of the Watchtower do get thwarted. Once again here, the Roaches moving forwards, trying to find a good spot. 1 Widowmine sharking around the side to plant itself in between the hatchery and the minerals by the looks of things, but Roach is still looking to put on the pressure, but Medivacs have already begun. He's getting such good upgrades. He's getting good upgrades behind this. He's getting a ton of Marines. I think he just shuts it down.
And another detonation there. Ret, you can see on the screen, he's just... You're getting annoyed with all these Widowmines that keep on detonating all over the place. And it doesn't look like Ret could actually beat down the front door, and so he's going to transition away from this. And with double gases being taken, he's going to have to throw down double evolution chamber. His Spire coming down, so that's the choice. It was either double evolution chamber or Spire, and that's the one he's going to go for here. And if you look at the gases on the natural not being taken yet by Yoda,
not a bad choice here. Yoda just transitioning on with those gas geysers, adding on that 3rd command center. Shields will finish up in just a second, and he's going to have all the units in the world here to go for drops if he wants to, or even just a frontal assault. These Medivacs are going to provide so much, and there you go. There's a drop going right now.
To be honest, that's almost the first Medivac harassment we've seen all day.
Yeah.
And it of course does have the new Ignite Afterburners. It speeds them up, and there we do see it put down immediately. And harassment will continue while Ret is distracted. We see another amount of forces moving down. with Stim, with +1, if they get towards that third base will fall.
Is that Baneling that's actually going to die off? It's so close, it does! Centrifugal Hooks does not finish up. Ignite Afterburners speed that away. Third base is very, very vulnerable. Oh my god, Red's being torn apart.
If this goes down, Kalaris, Red's going to be absolutely hindered in terms of economy. Look how fast it's going! With +1 and the amount of Marines, Red will fall to 2 bases.
He can even just pick up some of these units and try and shuttle them away, but look at this. Tries to drop once again in the main, drops them, gets a good trade against some of those Banelings. That's not maybe the most amazing one, but regardless, picks on up, goes into the natural, trying to evade some of those roaches as well, trying to kill off just a few workers where he can, and every single kill he gets here is catastrophic.
Absolutely mind-boggling play here from Yoda, all over the place, drops his Widowmine usage. Behind this, he's got 1-1. We should see a second Engineering Bane and Armory come down any second now to continue his upgrades, to keep on producing more and more fulfilling units. As Yoda is set up defensively, Widowmines to take a third base momentarily, and things are just going in his favor. He sees the spire, he knows the spire's there. No turrets yet, but they should be coming down soon, and even Widowmines alongside the edges of his mineral lines and bases are going to shut down Mulus play as well.
Yeah, should be quite alright for him, as he's, I mean, even has a ton of Marines out, he can just stem up, run along and be able to deal with that. Admittedly, the Mutalists are very fast, so they can get away from that from time to time, but, you know, we'll see how this is going to work out in the Armory, as well as double eBay on the way here. Doesn't he already have an eBay? He's getting 3 eBays.
Yeah, that's a mistake there. He's already got 1, and now he's got 3.
Perfect.
Doesn't really need that third one, but it doesn't matter. It's a small little error, 125 mineral error. But behind this, we do see the Mulus coming in. No turret's been made yet. Do we have Widowmines even in position at this point? Defensively inside the main base? No. So, and if he picks off that drop and then hits the main base, it looks like it's just going to be main base. Nope, it's going to be both maybe, but where's the afterfire? Burn, burn, burn!
Get away, guys, get away. Well, it looks like he's going to do a pretty good job of it. Save a few of the Marines at least and have them get an alright trade off against the Mutalists as opposed to completely die off for no reason. For now, actually, he's keeping an eye on his opponent's 4th, but...
Oh, is that Widowmines moving into position? Yeah, 1 Widowmine, 4 Widowmines and Marines here, and it's going to get picked up before he can burrow, and looks like Ret's just going to back off, and that's going to be annoying. No harassment can actually happen here. We've seen a couple of Hellbats being mixed into the composition, just forgetting about tanks here, just Marines and Hellbats with Widowmines, and good, decent detonation, not the best detonation there.
Yeah, and I mean, this comes back to what QXC was saying. He was saying that, you know, Ret plays this Ling Bane Muta style versus this kind of bio play.
Yeah.
But Widowmines are that Widowmine. 22 workers have been killed for Yoda. And stimming up here, trying to clean up these Mutalists. They don't want to be staying there for too long.
No, they don't, but both players trading blows here. 3-base economy set up quite nicely here for Ret compared to decently set up 3-base for Yoda. He hasn't upgraded +2 armor, a bit of a mistake there. But he is building a very strong army, and there's the +2 armor coming in. More second factory, more production being added on as well. And the problem is that Ret is on Mutalist, Ling, Baneling. That's not the best composition at the moment against what we're seeing from Yoda. I mean, look at it. It's Marines, Marauders, and Hellbats with Widowmine support. If Widowmines detonate across the army, then I'm not too sure if Ret can actually take a fight when Yoda pushes the option.
This army is just getting super, super scary. Those Hellbats alone are going to melt a lot on the ground. And, I mean, if you can't kill off a lot of the Marines in turn, those Marines are going to have their way with the Mutalists. And still, Centrifugal Hooks is only now just going down because of that Baneling kill early on.
That's a big point you bring up there, Kalaris. That Baneling speed, he won't even be able to get the right detonations off, to be honest. And the Overseer just immediately gets destroyed there. Oh my gosh, is that going to fall?
No, it's going to be, it's just going to go. Oh, it was so close, but the Mutalists were not able to save it. Spawning pool gone, can't make any more Lings, let alone Banelings.
That's right, and well, this is quite a problem here for Ret, as +2 attack is about to finish on these units. Is Yoda going to push the issue? And he definitely should be looking to do so. Baneling speed still not even halfway complete here, and we're about to have an attack from Yoda. He scans and sees Mulus and sees minimal amounts of Banelings and Lings. He's looking for a killing blow, but Ret has set up a flank here. This could actually be a good detonation.
That's such a strong army moving forward here. The Banelings are caught behind the roaches. He spreads all of his units in turn. There's too many Marines left. They're going to fend them off. There you go. GG.
Yoda with that victory takes first place in his group and knocks Ret down to second, despite Ret going 4-0 here. And one thing to note, more so than anything else, Yoda had been playing Wings of Liberty for a very, very long time until recently. But I think this illustrates the power of a team. LGIM had played so much HotS in general to prepare for the GSTL preseason, which of course was played on Heart of the Swarm. To have the amount of player support and coaching behind it, all he needs to do is update his builds, update his strategies. And if you think as you yourself in Heart of the Swarm, when you're a player, it's a lot of process, eliminating a lot of factors. You go in, you try something, and it's a process of elimination of what works and what doesn't. But if someone comes up to you like MVP and says, yo bro, playing Heart of the Swarm for a long time, I'm pretty good at this. This is what you need to do, and you do it.
Yeah. Like how long would it take for a Terran to figure out, oh yeah, this standard 2 Widowmine, 2 Reaper, 4 Hellion harassment is pretty good against a third. It takes so long to figure that out on your own, but with that power of the team behind them, so strong.
Absolutely, and that's our last game of the day here at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. We will be heading it over to summarize day 1 over at the analysis desk.
Thank you very much for that, boys. We're going to be checking out this last game here. Ret, unfortunately, dropping to 2nd place in his group, but an absolutely immaculate execution there in game number 2 by Yoda, showing us a lot about how to use these Widow Mines in Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, he made them look very strong. Again, with the aggressive placement, he uses them, pushes up using his more mobile units, the Hellion and the Reaper. Eventually brought the Marines to support a little bit more, but that wasn't really the crux of the strategy. Takes map control, is able to push and then set up those Widow Mines and then aggressively bait Ret's army into the Widow Mines, or at least prevent him from expanding. It was very effective.
So we're going to be getting into more of an in-depth analysis of game number 2 there, as well as maybe taking a quick look at the replay. Straight after this post-match interview, we're going to be bringing it over to the main stage with Rachel.
Oh, I'm on. Whoop. There we go. It's the end of the day. I'm sorry. Things are going a little slowly here, but I am here with the Group B champion, LGIM Yoda. Yoda, you've been an incredibly consistent player. You have 4 GSL Code S qualifications right after one another. Why is this the first time we've seen you in such a singular performance?
이때까지 GSL Code S 4번 올라왔잖아. 그래서 지금 왜 오늘 처음으로 오랜만에 그렇게 좋은 게임 보여주는지.
그게 마음대로 되는 게 아니라서 그냥 하는 대로 했을 뿐이에요. 네.
Well, he says it's actually not up to him. It's like things just happen, and that's how it works.
It's fate. Well, it's not fate that got you first in your group. It was pure skill. You train with the guys at LGIM. They won the GSTL Heart of the Swarm Team League. They've done incredible. You guys have been practicing very hard. What is LGIM, the team, saying about Heart of the Swarm?
지금 LGIM과 GST에 우승하고 그때 그리고 LGIM랑 같이 연습도 많이 하고 그 LGIM Heart of the Swarm 어떻게 생각하는지.
일단 지금 테란이 가장 좋아요. 그리고 그 다음이 토스고 그 다음이 저그고 저희 팀은 일단 그렇게 생각하고 있고, 일단 저희도 지금 거의 한 일주일 정도, 한 일주일 조금 넘게 했는데 아직 정확하게 이렇게 막 적응되진 않아가지고 일단 지금은 테란이 좋은 것 같아요.
Right now, LGIM thinks that Terran is the most imbalanced race, so it's like Terran, Proto, Zerg, and they're practicing Heart of the Swarm since a bit more than a week, and they are not quite used to it yet, but they're getting there, and he thinks that Terran is the strongest race right now.
Do you think Ret's performance is going to change your team's idea about Zerg?
지금 이번에 Ret가 Zerg 잘하는 거 보여줬잖아. 그래서 팀원들도 Zerg가 세다고 생각할 건지, 생각 바꿀 건지.
그게 무슨 말이에요?
지금 지금 Ret가 잘했잖아. 그래서 Zerg가 아마 너가 Zerg가 제일 못한다고 하잖아. 스킬. 그래서 지금 그 생각 바꿨는지 지금 Zerg가 잘했어 지금.
일단 IEM 오면서 테란전만 계속 생각해가지고 일단 테란밖에 지금 생각 안 하고 있어요.
Zerg은 똑같아 아직?
네. 저그전은 일단 이겨 있어요. 네.
So actually he didn't care much about Zergs before he came, and the only thing he was worried about was against Terrans.
Well, we'll see how you show up against Terrans when we get to Saturday, but we have some more StarCraft coming for you tomorrow and the next day. We're going to take it back to the analyst desk and look at these games in depth with Yoda. And when we come back, I'm going to fill you in on what happens for the rest of the week. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, so we're going to be taking a quick look at that game.
Yep.
Of course, it started off as, like you mentioned, an 8-8-8 coming out of Yoda there. But of course, it was scouted.
Yep.
And then from that point onwards, it became a very sort of fluid, adaptive game from both sides.
Yeah, Ret, I think, had a pretty good response to that build. Once speed finishes, Lings become very effective against Reapers. You can't really take the fight head on, and you can't really run away because the Speedlings are faster than your Reapers. Yoda made the right decision to transition into factory tech immediately. It got pretty dicey once the wall went down, and it had a lot to do with how the Widowmine detonations went off. They ended up being pretty good, but not as not possibly as good as Yoda might have wanted. But I think in the end, Yoda actually came out of that position a little bit ahead, for sure.
Yeah. Well, he was keeping Ret occupied for quite a bit as well, because Ret's Baneling Nest, you pointed out during the game, actually went down when he had something like 180 gas.
Yeah, and I think that is 100% a mistake. There is something to be said for hiding what you're doing and not revealing your intentions. Mm-hmm. There's also something to be said for the amount of options that a Zerg on one base while mining gas has, and there's two of them. It's roaches or it's banelings. And so the response to both is basically the same. You build a bunker, you can make Widow Mines or you can make Hellions. They'll both be relatively effective. Probably the Hellions would be better against the Speedlings and the Widow Mines more effective against the roaches, but really either one could work in that situation. And so it felt like Ret was, maybe he forgot, maybe he decided that whatever, but it felt like, well, like I know you're gonna do a one base all in. You don't have any other options. So why would you try and hide it? Just put it down and go as hard into that strategy as you possibly can. The Banelings have to detonate, have to go off as soon as possible, because Yoda is going to be transitioning into a counter one base all in strategy. That's the only thing that could have happened. And then out of that, defends, and the counterplay from Yoda was so strong. He did a really good job of basically pushing to Ret's natural and not allowing him to really expand, to breathe, to move out and get room to get his drones up, get his roaches out, take map control. And that really led into what we're going to see in the replay real quick here, which is kind of the crux of when Yoda takes this game.
Yeah.
Before this point, like I was talking about, he sets up this position very nicely. He makes it very hard for Ret to really have good information about what's going on. He has a difficulty breathing. And then Yoda makes this very, very good decision where he drops the main, kills the Baneling Nest, and runs into the third at the same time and snipes that. And basically, Ret is just completely out of position. He doesn't really have the Overlord spread, the creep spread, to know that this kind of thing is coming. And once the third is down, if we look at the game state here, Yoda on 3 command centers. He's got his basically full 2 base production versus Ret's equal drone count, which is not good because as a Zerg player, you always want to be ahead on drones. And then if we take a quick look at the upgrades, we can see that Ret has not started any of his upgrades, whereas Yoda is already at +1. He's going to be heading into +1 armor pretty soon. And what ended up happening with that final timing was Yoda was ahead by 2 upgrades. That's basically unheard of in this matchup. And like, usually you want to force a fight when upgrades are even. If you have an advantage, which is relatively rare, then that's great for you. Marines are a devastating unit when you're ahead on upgrades. When you are ahead on 2 upgrades, there really isn't much Zerg can do. As long as you don't make tremendous mistakes in terms of Banelings, your Marines will be cost efficient against everything else because you are +2 ahead of your opponent's armor upgrades.
Yeah, that's true. Anything to add to that, Harston?
I think he captured the spirit of the game pretty well.
Definitely. Well, we've got a situation now where Yoda actually goes through in first place in Group B, which means, of course, he automatically advances to the round of 8, and Ret is going to have to go through an extra opponent. But that said, Ret has qualified, and yes, he's going to have to play another match to sort of get up to that level, but he can take a lot of heart in his position today. We can see here, ladies and gentlemen, up on your screens, Group B, Yoda topping the group, Ret in second place, and we have first in third place. MC, Cass, and X-Lord. At this point in time, we say goodbye on game day number one, rather, of the World Championship here at the Intel Extreme Masters.
One thing for Ret to take heart in, and like you said, he did have a very good performance today, very close to taking first in his group, and there are not a lot of Terrans in this tournament.
And I don't think he's going to lose to a Protoss. If I see him, like, he completely stomped MC.
Yeah, and he also took out first.
He took out first, and first is
Quite
really good.
Yeah,
quite good. Come on.
Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I think Ret has great chances of going far in this tournament. That would be a huge thing for him. Like for anybody who's been following Ret recently, he's had his ups and downs, but recently he's been on an upswing 100%, and this would be a great thing for him, a good way to restore some of his possibly lost confidence and just put him back on that pedestal that he wants.
No, that's right. And even, to be honest, despite this loss, I mean, that pedestal is very much there. The way he absolutely picked apart MC.
Yeah.
And don't forget, like, yeah, he beat first as well. We didn't, I think, get to see that game on our stream. But yeah, he picked apart first. He's done tremendously well so far in this tournament. So that's going to be it for today, groups A and B. We're going to be continuing here at the Intel Extreme Masters tomorrow with Group C. So we hope you've enjoyed the broadcast today. Of course, fling any questions, comments, stuff like that at IEM. You can also hashtag at IEM as well. We have been the Analysis Desk today. I am Jarisar. You can follow me on Twitter at Jarisar, and of course, QXE.
I'm Complexity QXE. You can follow me at Cole_QXE.
I am Fanatics Harstam, and you can follow me under @Harstam on Twitter.
That's right, guys. It's been a fantastic day here at the Intel Extreme Masters. It's been a lot of fun here in Hannover, and we're going to throw it one last time to Rachel Quirico for closing words. See you tomorrow.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, at the Analysis Desk. Thank you to our wonderful casters who have carried us through today. And thank you so much to the excellent production behind the scenes. We have only brought you a fraction of the StarCraft that Intel Extreme Masters World Championship is going to offer. But I do want to take a moment and also thank our sponsors who made this possible. For those of you watching on the free HD stream, you can thank BenQ also for these incredible monitors that they've hooked up the players with. This is the first time anyone is playing on these monitors. A big thank you also to Raid Call and Patriot. Without this, would not be possible. And that's it, guys. Tomorrow we're going to have Group C. That includes Sting, Sage, Snoot, Mana, Violet, and Vortex. And that's going to be at 9:30. Don't miss it. I'll see you there.